Welcome back to this week's episode of Sambas Adventures. Last Saturday, I was rushing off to our home in the Dominican Republic because I saw some open seats. As you can see here, the seats were very full going to the Dominican Republic, but I found an open seat, or 8 open seats, on Spirit going from Fort Lauderdale to Santo Domingo. And with that, I raced off. I know it was only 8 seats, and I was one of those 8 seats. But anyway, so I took off. It is about a 4.5-hour drive to Baltimore. From there, I boarded a Southwest flight to Fort Lauderdale. There were plenty of open seats, and after a short 2-hour flight with a movie and some drinks, I was in Fort Lauderdale. Unfortunately, the baggage claim area from Southwest Airlines to Spirit Airlines is about a 25-minute walk from Terminal 1 to Terminal 4. But here I am, and I got my boarding pass, and I was on my way for another 2-hour flight to Santo Domingo. I arrived at the capital of the Dominican Republic, Santo Domingo, at about 2:30 in the morning, and by the time I got through customs and all, it was about 4 o'clock. From there, I made my way with an Uber over to the Caribe Express bus terminal to catch a bus to Santiago, which is where my car was located at the airport. Well, I made it back to Santiago after a long flight to Santo Domingo. Got here about 2:30 in the morning, had to wait for the bus, which was scheduled to leave at 5:30. And then actually left at about 7:15. Got here, it's about 9:45 or so now in the morning. Here back at the airport. And so I'm gonna go and go home, get some sleep. But finally made it. Flights were very, very full. Fortunately though, I still had an empty seat next to me at the on the flight over here from Fort Lauderdale to Santo Domingo. All right, I'm going to go get in my car. I will see you all later. Before going home, I drove over here to Price Mart, which is like our Costco in the United States, to get some groceries because I had nothing here at the house. And as you can see here, this is what it looks like inside. And if I didn't tell you, you'd think you were in a Costco in the United States. It's just like it. The food court, the food is almost identical. And I did grab some fast food, which was not healthy, but all the same, I hadn't eaten for 24 hours, so it was time to get a little bite to eat. And then off to Sosua, to our villa here on the north coast. After getting home, of course, it was good to be home. Had a check up on the construction project, and here you can see the room that we're building, the carport, and they're making progress. So the beam was next, but I just want to take a quick peek before the evening and see how they were doing. Back in the United States at Alpine Lake, our home, Lucy is looking for Daddy. You can see her here, and Cynthia and Alex are busy organizing the house from the move, because we had all the stuff from the house we sold, and it has to get organized. So here they are with a bookshelf to get all the books out of the boxes and onto bookshelves. Trust me, there were more bookshelves, but you get the picture. Carrying them up the stairs, it's quite a task. So thank you, Cynthia and Alex, for carrying those bookshelves up. All right, so we got a project today. We're going to put a whole house meter on so we know how much the house is using in electricity. And unfortunately, the circuit breakers here in the Dominican are different than the US, because it wanted me to put this thing inside this breaker box. But that's not going to work. So we're going to have to figure out a solution. So I'll show you what happens, I guess, as we go along. Alright, so we're going to take these screws out first. I think I've only had this panel apart once before, and it looks so it looks so wild in there. I had to call the electrician because I was afraid to stick my hand in. And it may happen again. Okay. All right, so we've got our main right here. And what we're gonna do is, yeah, that's going where this wire is. I don't know if I have room in there for the, I'm gonna have to figure this out. All right, in short, I'm looking at this and you can see how small the box is here. And we're supposed to be able to fit this thing around that wire right there. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I don't think there's any room for it. My feeling is I got to call Hugo up. Hugo is my electrician. He knows how to work this thing. And it's possible that we may have to get a pigtail so that we can actually hook these up maybe out here and run the wire back through here and into the box. So more later, I'm going to turn all the power back on so that I have air conditioning, and then I'm going to call Hugo up and he's going to have to help me figure this out. All right, I did not film the installation just now of the electric metering device. My friend John used to tell me, you don't want to know how the sausage is made, just enjoy the sausage. This is what this is. It's really a disaster, and I'm not really proud of the wiring here, and I didn't do this, of course. This house was built before we came here, and but here it is. We've got the neutrals tied in here. We've got the two hots tied into this breaker right here. And this, I had to pull those wires out, reroute them so I have more room because they were kind of tangled, and then place these sensors on. But I'm waiting for Hugo to show up, and hopefully we may have to put an extension, actually have to mount these outside. I'll see, because right now I have no idea how the box is going to close. All right, more later. Got to hook up these sensors to the top of this box right now. All right, so we got this hooked up. I got the two sensors put on there to measure that, and it looks like the firmware got updated on the phone, sent over to the box over here. So we're gonna check out and see if it's all working. Okay, show me my energy, and I guess there we have it. All right, shows like we're using about 0.6 of a kilowatt, 0.6 of a kilowatt. All right, that's it for right now until Hugo comes up and figures out what we're going to do with this mess so we can put the cover back on. More later. All right, so Hugo came by and he installed this. So the power now from the power company goes in here with the sensors in here, and then goes to the main breaker here. But really, in all fairness, this thing is supposed to go inside the box. So I'm going to see if I can get that to fit inside the box and clean this up a bit. As you can see, it's a mess. We can only do so much before we cover it up and pretend like it's not here. So give me a few minutes. All right, as you saw in the beginning, this was quite a mess to begin with. This box actually is too tight against this box. So I think Hugo's going to have to come back, and we're going to have to move it over. And we're going to probably have to cut a little slot for the wires to go through on that side. So that'll be for another day. I'm going to put the cover back on, and we're going to call it till Hugo comes back and fixes this. It should just be a much larger breaker box. All right, my wife really likes these fan pumps, and maybe if I bring the height up on this, you can probably see one. Let me turn this thing around. Okay, I think you can see my neighbor. It's right there. See that right there? All right, that's a fan palm, and Cynthia really likes that one. So my gardener today brought this and planted it, and I think she'll really like it when she comes over here. Unfortunately, I'm here by myself. She's holding down the fort in West Virginia. We've got some things we need to deal with the house there, but I don't know if you saw the video where they cut the tree down. There used to be a big tree right here, and that got cut down. Another video, just look for the links below or look in the collection. But ever since then, this pool has been crystal clear. It used to be filled with leaves and leaves and leaves and leaves and sticks from that tree. So right now I'm just so delighted to have a clean pool with virtually no debris whatsoever from leaves and stuff. For lunch, Henning and I went over to Cabaret for Chinese food. The menu was all in German, but I figured out that what I got was Hunan chicken, what we call in the US. Basically cooked chicken with vegetables. It was really, really good. And Henning, I believe, had curry beef, and he said it was good. But anyway, good Chinese food. All right, it is still Tuesday afternoon, and I think the workers have all gone home. We just finished the rough installation of the energy meter so that we can tell how much energy we're using here at the house. But this is how we're looking right now with this project. I'm gonna go back here so you can see it without me in the picture. But basically, they're putting in the upper support right now. It's gonna be a big beam. It's going to be 3 beams that go across to support the terrace on top. We're roughing it in for another bedroom or office up there. Eventually, hopefully, once we get permission. But that's what they've been working on right now. This right here is the storage unit. And of course, this is the house right here. So, let me see here. They're making progress. Again, today it was a matter of putting on all these supports up here. And all these supports up here. And that's what it looks like in here. This is the, looks like it's the changing room. But no, I'm kidding. This is the storage room / workshop, because I need a workshop. I like working. I had a window put in, and we're going to put an air conditioner in here. So that if we're working in here, we can stay cool. All right, so that is it. That's the storage room. And it's looking pretty good. Rough footage. I think I'll send the drone up maybe tomorrow. It's getting a little late in the day right now to send the drone up, but that's what it looks like for the construction project. More tomorrow. Wednesday, we visited our neighbor's horse. If you missed that video, go check out episode number 4. It is Thursday morning early. Did my walk, got in the pool, swam. But I'm going out with Henning to Santiago today to get the air conditioning unit for the for this house right here. Well, this is our storage unit / spare room. And it's making progress. See, we put the window in, so we're gonna have 2 outlets on each wall, and we're gonna have the air conditioner come in right up top there. So we got to get the 12,000 BTU unit. This is what they got done so far. They've boxed in all the beams. Well, yeah. They started boxing in all the beams, and on top of that comes, of course, the roof. All right, in a few minutes, we'll take off, go over to Santiago. See you later. After a winding 1.5 hour drive, we had breakfast at Wendy's. I had some oatmeal and some orange juice to get my day started, and then we found a new supermarket called Bravo. Now, I was really excited because they had a lot of fresh fruit, a lot of meat, but all the prices were very, very reasonable. A pound of coffee is about $3, but overall, I think I'm going to be going here for shopping, even if it takes a little longer to get there. Then, of course, the purpose of the trip was to go and get the air conditioners. Once we got here, we found out that the air conditioners were actually an hour and a half away in Puerto Plata, so that's where we went. And went and picked up my air conditioner and the project air conditioner that he went and he has a project there in Puerto Plata. All right, so this is one of Henning's workplaces. He's got a project here, and we had to wait to get these air conditioners. So once we tried to get from Santiago, but they weren't there, we had to wait for someone to deliver them actually here to the job site in Puerto Plata. So this is what he's working on right here. Not sure what it is, but looks like a room. So Henning, what are we building here?
We extended an apartment, what was just a studio. Now we're making an apartment with kitchen, front room, bigger bathroom, bigger bedroom, and a little terrace.
All right, so storage room turns into a bedroom. Apartment, yeah.
For the in-laws.
Yep. That's it. Hopefully we get in the car very soon and go back home. All right, at this construction site, I just happened to notice the mangoes on this tree. I'm going to turn the camera around, but take a look at those mangoes right there on that tree. Is that not amazing? And if we walk around here, take a look at those mangoes up there. I'm just totally impressed with how many mangoes are on this tree. And you all know how much I love mangoes, so these people have got it made with a beautiful tree full of mangoes. Anyway, Henning's just going over these people's project right here, and then I'll be heading off. We got the air conditioner for our extra room by the carport, so that's in the back of his truck, and we'll get that installed as soon as they have it all finished up. But we got a good deal on it. That was important. All right, more later. All right, so we just came back from the hardware store in Santiago, and I started the project without you. I'm sorry. But I thought I'd bring the camera out and show you what I'm doing. So basically, I've got this long pole, and what we used to do is hook that long pole, and we used to just stick it into this valve right here, and then fill the pool. But it always bent a lot, and I was afraid that valve was going to break. So I says, you know what, let's put a proper faucet on it, and that's what I'm doing now. I did ask my plumber to do it, but he's not showing up to do it. So this is a DIY, do-it-yourself project. So that's where we're at. So basically, this is now going to go into the pipe there. This will come out here, and this is the last stop in there, and then we're going to have to put a stake in the ground to make that happen. That's our plan anyway. And I think I've got you so you can see this. So I've got just about everything on. I'm going to now do this little part here. This one I don't need. Haven't seen in blue. And in the US we don't have these small ones right here, these small tubes, which are really nice because sometimes you don't need a big tube for a small project and then it just goes bad. And a big bottle costs like $9 in the US now for PVC glue. And so all we do is just stick it in there and give it a good whirl, and a few seconds later it is good to go. And I'm going to do it one more time here. A bit more difficult. But I tell you about the breeze at this house. This house is an amazing breeze all day long, which keeps the insects away. I've hardly ever seen a fly here. I probably haven't seen more than 5 flies my entire time I've been here. And I hate flies. Alright. Put this back down. Alright. I think that looks pretty good. So now the last step is to put this thing into the into that pipe down there. But I'm probably going to have to wipe it up and clean it first. You can come along. I'll take you with you. But this has been bothering me for a while now. So. Alright, so we're back. We've got a little tube of epoxy. I won't be able to twist it like I did just a moment ago, so it's just going to be a little twist. So hopefully we get it right the first time. I think I got it twisted just a little bit. And that looks pretty straight. What do you all think? I think that looks pretty straight. There's not enough time to do this. It hardens really, really quickly. But I think that's as good as it's going to get for right now. And that's all I really wanted to get done this evening. The sun's just about down. I've already done my walk. And this brings Thursday to a close. So more tomorrow. See you later. Happy Friday, everyone. All right, this morning I'm gonna cut open a mango. I had a mango here I cut 2 days ago, and I don't even know. I tried to put it back in a Ziploc bag. Probably will never ripen. But last night I had one, and it was I think it was overripe at one end. So I'm gonna give this one a whirl and see. Oh, that actually looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Look at that. Yeah, that looks like a good mango. All right. Now, I'm going to eat this, but I'm not going to let you watch me eat this. All right, so this is the challenging part, is to get the get the balance off. There's not much you can do. I mean, you can do your best just to cut a little bit off, and that's about all you can do for a mango, but it's good. All right, what we got here is dragon fruit. Now, we stopped yesterday and picked this up on the way from Santiago, and I don't know if I've ever had dragon fruit, so I guess this is the experiment. All right, they tell me just to cut it open in half. It looks like a beet inside. All right, now I am going to eat it in front of the camera. Got surprised what my expression is going to be and see what it tastes like. Now, if you all have had dragon fruit before, put your comments below, tell me what you think. They tell me it's sweet sour, maybe? I don't know. Boy, I don't even know what to compare that to. It's not sour. It's not sweet. Interesting flavor. It's not bad. It's very juicy. Has the texture of strawberry with those little seeds. But it's very good, but I don't know what to compare it to. Anyway, dragon fruit. That is my treat for lunch here on Friday, and that just about completes the week very soon, I think. All right, see you later. In the meantime, back in the United States at Alpine Lake, we're so glad that the roofing man came by and fixed the hole in the roof, which I know we talked about a couple episodes ago. And the last guy wouldn't show up, but we finally found someone who would show up for work, and we're so glad he fixed it. It was leaking into our bathrooms, which made a mess of the drywall, which we still have to fix. But So glad he came, and it's all resolved now. Back in the Dominican, of course, we ended the week with a dinner with our neighbors, which was really, really nice. So it was a good week. And that is the end of this week's episode of Xaver's Adventures. Join us again next week, and I'm sure there'll be more on the construction and life here in the Dominican, as well as the home at Alpine Lake. See you later. Oh yeah, and did I forget to say, you like it, subscribe, of course, then you get notified that there's a new episode, and like it if you like it, that helps it. But really, I make these for my family in Germany and here, and for myself later when I'm older, I can watch these videos. So. But if you like, go ahead and subscribe. I'm back in the pool. See you later next week. Alright, that is the end of this episode of Xaver's Adventures. This week has come to a close, and there'll be more next week if you... GoPro, stop recording. Alright, that's it for this week's episode of Xaver's Adventures. It was a long, very busy week arriving here in GoPro, stop recording. And maybe if I